Greetings, friends. Jason here for AxodysFC. It's a cold one today, midweek. Kind of rainy, and we got our first flakes throughout the day of snow, but nothing really stuck in our neck of the woods. In other parts of town, it did stick for a while, but it's melted off. But it's still quite chilly, probably just below 40 Fahrenheit. So yeah, it's very possible I won't be walking all over our nearby forest land in the near future, especially once we get snow on the ground. But anyway, some Champions League games today, and I watched actually Newcastle Dortmund, and mainly because I've been fantasy-wise taking advantage of Newcastle's Nick Pope, the keeper, and their defense has been really quite good. And so, anyway, I've been enjoying their run of success in the Champions League. It ended today against Dortmund. Pretty subpar game for all of them, and or maybe more, not so much subpar, but just average. And average wasn't good enough. So. Yeah, Dortmund won 1-0, which puts PSG alone at the top of their group. Dortmund and Newcastle are tied now, and so AC Milan down at the bottom. They've got 2 draws and a loss, so they're 2 points. So anyway, they've been the most underwhelming. I think my impression is that is the actual toughest group in Champions League this season. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. I believe they've got 3 more games to go in the group to really decide things. But Newcastle really dropped the ball for a home game like that to lose to Dortmund, who I didn't feel like were that impressive really at all. And Gio Reyna got in very late, didn't do anything of note. And it was only I think they said it was only, he's barely played for them this year. It's fascinating. Only his second or third recent appearance, maybe even this season, unclear, but strange one with him. Because actually he has performed well for the U.S. national team. But weird one. Or not, if, the Dortmund manager, is unhappy with his general play, as I am. But, otherwise, City won 3-1 over Young Boys. And, Holland kind of shaking off the absence of Rodri, and now that he's back, all is right with City again, seemingly. So he had a brace, and getting back to Spurs-related things, I looked at Crystal Palace a little bit, and basically Elise and Ezzy, I think, are going to still be out. They've had basically 2 goals in the last 6 games. One of them was against United, which was their lone win in this span. Basically they have no offense right now. And that goal against United, I believe, came off a set piece, maybe a corner scenario or something, because it was one of their center backs that scored it. And I definitely feel like this is one we need to take advantage of, but it will be a challenge because I imagine that Crystal Palace will set up in a low block and just try and play for a 0-0 draw. So very important game for Madison. Definitely, I'm very curious to see how Ange sets up with our front line, who he picks. I I think Richarlison has been playing well, certainly, and on that left wing, I'm curious to see, if Brennan Johnson will get some opportunities or more than he got in the last one, and also I'm very curious to see if Alejo Veliz actually will get some action in this. As good as he is aerially, supposedly he's like, some people have said he's like, he would be the best in the Premier League right now, which, I mean, that would be amazing if it was the case. It's too bad we don't have that service we used to with Perisic. But actually, I would say Richie has been doing a pretty good job in that regard. And we know also Porro is capable of doing that from the right. So, it's remains to be seen what happens. But I'm very curious. Now that from a fantasy point of view, I'm very curious to see if Brennan Johnson will kind of break back into the lineup, get a start in the near future or not. I'm not counting on him doing that. I'm just more hoping that I can figure out when he will get regular starts, because with the way the fantasy works, if you guess wrong on a player starting or not, it pretty much kills your particular game. So, and if he comes in as a sub, it's much. He can still score points, but it's like a 10-point deduction right off the bat. Anyway, looking forward to Friday's game. I am, excited to see what we can do. It seems like a great opportunity to score. Newcastle scored 4 against them. I'd like to see a huge output game. We're kind of due for one. We've definitely been struggling a little bit of late, and I'd love to see that breakout game. So hopefully that can be the case. At any rate, thanks for tuning in as always. Please like and subscribe if you enjoy these. And remember, to dare is to do.